Live video.
You show you Craig's smartphone, right? Hey Sprint,
Okay.
hey Sprint. Hey Sprint.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Christian Placido, CPS Boxing News over here with Angel Manfredy and Craig Houk. How you doing, champs? How's everything?
Awesome.
Tell us what's the reason that you guys are here right now in White Plains, New York.
Well, I mean, I guess, it happened, I don't know how many years ago, but after my career, I was struggling a month and I didn't know who to come to. And I came to Ring 10, and Ring 10 helped me for that month that I didn't have rent for the house, for the household.
Financial
funds.
Wonderful.
Because I didn't know what I was going to do after my career.
After your career.
Remember, I was El Diablo, so I blew millions of dollars performing and doing everything that my heart desired at that time, living in sin, you know what I'm saying? But they came through and they met the need, and right after they met the need that month, I bounced back, and now I'm a trainer. I'm a professional trainer for boxing, for fitness, for technique, for conditioning. It's the best. I'm a matchmaker. I'm a manager. I have a promotional company called Axe Enterprises. My website should be up very soon. Getting it in, doing what we do best. Craig Houk's Angel Manfredy Boxing 2017 tour. This is what we do. We travel United States, if not the world, and we're going to have an international agent I'd like to say hi to, Joe Barton, and we're going to be going to Spain soon. It's gonna be exciting. We're going to do boxing seminars there, and we're going to get paid, you know what I'm saying? And she's going to, I'm working with big people in California.
Awesome.
About my movie, the book Do See is going to come out by May or June, called So Be It. The bio of Angel Manfredy, the true story of Angel Manfredy, documentary. We got the scissor ready in a week and a half. We're going to pitch it to HBO because I was signed with HBO. I was an HBO fighter, so we're doing big things, brother. How are you doing, my brother Chris?
Great, man. Wonderful. Thanks for allowing me to be here. And actually, let's talk about a recently fight that we just saw. It like everybody that were expecting, they wanted to see this fight. Like I guess that was 2 years ago, but finally, Oscar De La Hoya sat down with some other promotions, so they made it happen. We just saw that fight, which it is Triple G Canelo. Guys, what do you think about that fight that we just saw?
The first fight, I'm going to give a shout out to Team Certified. We're going to wish them good luck this weekend. And in Ring 10. Ring 10 is a great, phenomenal organization that helps men that are down and struggling in their life. They have a great organization, and that's what we're here to support basically this weekend.
Yeah,
but and the Canelo and GG fight, okay? I got a little bit of rap on this. I got a little bit, because I went publicly and said the 110 to 118 was absurd, and then I got some feedback that maybe they just saw it different or saw it more Oscar De La Hoya boxing style. I thought Triple G won the fight. I'm a big, huge Canelo fan, okay? Huge. I love Canelo, but I thought he got beat that night. I thought GG3 just out-hustled him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Had it 115, 113. If you want to go with 114, 114, that's being biased, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give the close rounds to my boy. I had it 115, 113. But I thought that Triple G just out-hustled him in the middle rounds. And, obviously I thought Canelo had a very good 11th round. And 12th round, he might have edged out 2, especially being my boy. So that's 7 rounds to 5. But that's boxing. Angel had it more 8, 9 rounds to 3.
What about you, Angel? Tell us about what you think. Tell me about your thoughts.
Craig Houk's, he's there. I thought more 3 to 4 round point Triple G, about three. But I definitely thought, when you fight a champion, you have to take it to the champion. You can't run from the champion and expect to win or get a draw. I think that wasn't. Like the name means everything. Who draws the star power? Who draws the people? Obviously, Canelo's a bigger draw. We all know that Chuchi is too as well. Taking that from Chuchi, he was an awesome champion, but he won that fight. I really felt he won by unanimous, but 3 rounds, 3 rounds.
In this particular case, one of the judges, is like we seen that she did it, something kind of wrong, I guess. as you guys, you know, being in this field, how you guys think that it does affect, you know, the sport of boxing? Do you guys think, you know, like, there should be consequences? Like, you know, I mean, we already know that she got like pull off from the, you know, from, I guess, from the service that she does, but
Right.
what else could it be? You guys think that in the future, you know, the people from the commissioners from the boxing that could start doing this, as we see, you know, some kind of mistakes like that? Because in order, like, we actually seeing this type of things, some errors or mistakes, you know, it does affect the career of boxing. So tell us.
Absolutely. And, you know, I thought years ago that De La Hoya beat Trinidad, you know what I'm saying, years ago. And therefore, that super fight, you know, Trinidad wins it, you know. So that happens sometimes. But I think what happens is we have, and I'm not trying to get into politics or anything, but you got a lot of people that give money to the Republican and Democratic parties, and then we have boxing commissioners, and then if you're my boxing commissioner fan and I give a bunch of money and you want to make me your boxing commissioner buddy, then you are my buddy, you know, and you get it, and you probably never took a punch in your life. You probably don't know really anything about the sport. You probably love the sport. You're probably trying to do what's best for your sport. But we're all human nature. We're all biased. We all see things a certain way. I go to a basketball game and my team's Greensburg, I'm going to be gut biased towards Greensburg. Or if my team's from Indianapolis, I'm going to be biased towards Indianapolis. That's human nature. So I don't know how we fix it. We're not really going to be able to totally fix it. It's just problems that we just got to work through and keep going. That's my idea.
What about you,
you know,
Angel?
The boxing is all about politics. It's all about ratings. Ratings is numbers. Numbers is money. Star power. You know what I'm saying? And has a lot to do with it. Promoters have a lot to do with it. It was you know, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the rematch is going to be for very big money. It deserves big money because it made big numbers, you know what I'm saying, good ratings, you know, so, you know, that's boxing, you know, that's always been there. That's why, you know, I always fought the way I fought, you know what I'm saying. I was determined to take care of business, get out as fast as I can, but win, you know what I'm saying, win some, lose some. I fought the best. It did not matter, you know. When I fought Gotti, that was probably the most prepared fighter that I fought, as well as Iron Robinson as well, as well as the other world champions as well. But when I fought Gotti, I was at my prime time, and it was in his hometown. He didn't put his belt on the line, but yet they still made it a 12-round fight. How can you make it a 12-round fight when there's no belt? You know, it wasn't an eliminator or nothing like that. So it was all rigged up, and he wanted to fight at his weight class. So he had everything. He had the money. He made $1 million. I made $250,000. I mean, it did not matter. I did not care. You know what I'm saying? I knew what I was determined to do, and that was win. I told him exactly what I told him, like at the press conference. I'm gonna cut you, I'm gonna drop you, you ain't going the distance. Exactly what I did. First round I cut him, third round I knocked him down, and the 8th round they shot the fight. But the cards had me winning two, judges had me winning 2 rounds, other judges had a draw. A draw? Really? Come on. Like I said, it's star power, HBO, Arturo Gotti was HBO's boy, you know what I'm saying? But after I beat Gotti, then I became HBO's man, you know what I'm saying? So El Diablo was very hot, you know what I'm saying, and did big numbers, you know what I'm saying, and beat good people, good names, and lost to the greats in the world, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, it's boxing, you know what I'm saying? And if you haven't made a name in the amateurs, you know what I'm saying, then coming into the pros, you know what I'm saying, you got to make a name for yourself throughout your amateur and professional career. Like, nobody knew who I was, period. You know what I'm saying? I came from nothing, became something, you know what I'm saying? It's special, it's a gift, and I'm very thankful that I became what I became and overcame, and now I'm a born-again Christian, so I'm happy, very content. Amen. And I'm promoting Axe Enterprises, and Craig Host, my boy Craig Host, Angel Manfredy, Boxing 2017 tour. We travel the world. We support the fighters. We get in with the fighters. We support the promoters as well. They put us on the posters that we're going to sign there, sign autographs, greet the people, do what we have to do, get our fighters on the team certified sports promotions. Hey, Akeem Black, take care of business on CBS, brother. We hope the best.
Great, man.
So we're getting it in. We're making a difference. Me and Craig Holtz, we're making a difference.
And here, what I want to touch on, base, is what get that understand is, there are star powers, but when you get your chance, I mean, when Mickey Ward got a shot and pulled a couple upsets because he was the opponent there for Top Rank for years, and then he gets us some punches in and lands on his opportunities. Manfredy gets thrown in with Calvin Grove. They think Calvin Grove is going to beat him, and he knocks out Calvin Grove. Yeah. So what happens is I tell these young kids is you got to be prepared. When your shot is called, you have to try to make something happen, because that's when your chance for you to make an opportunity for your name.
Because you can leave. I believe that you can leave. Your fight. In the hands of the judges, because the judges they might gonna go against you, and probably you could do something like in your own way. You will feel, oh, I did it great, but the judges, they might think something different. So
that's why I'm saying I was a puncher boxer. So I had out of 43 ones, I had 32 knockouts. So I had a very good percentage of knockouts. So I mean, I took care of business. I gave the fans what they want. We have, as fighters, we have to get the fans what they want, and if we fight a world champion, we have to take it from the world champion. Good fight, you won the fight, but if it can happen again, I still got Triple G in that fight. I don't know about Craig.
How about you, Craig?
I would love to see the rematch. I'd love to see a rematch. Here's what I think really got to happen. I think Canelo, if he just throws punches, pound for pound, just throws with him, I think he could probably beat him. But here's the deal. I thought he loaded up way too much, like we were talking earlier. I thought he wore himself out. I thought he got tired through the middle rounds, and GG3 out-hustled him because Canelo was trying to load up with his big shots, and some of them did not land. He could not knock GG3 out. He tried to, and he put his punches, and I thought it backfired him in the middle rounds. I thought it was still a close fight, but I think that's really what happened. I think if Canelo has a different plan to throw, the last 30 seconds, the last minute, to be busy and throw active, I think he can be right there with GG3. But it's again about being active and being busy, and giving the fans what they want.
So, it could happen. Saying.
So definitely he had to come up with a different plan, because
different plan.
I guess the plan that he had, in this fight, it didn't work well. So, and I'm pretty sure both fighters, they're gonna come up with a different plan, because that's. I guess what is making really interesting this fight again, if it's goes.
Like Craig was saying, when Canelo did mix up the punches, he had an advantage.
Yeah, he did.
Like I said, Canelo's a better boxer. He's a better boxer.
He got the speed, the footwork,
and he's more elusive. He's just straight up. So he's more elusive. He has different gifts. But if he would have spoke more, fought more, I think, like Craig said, I think he can win if he does step it up. But I think the second fight, he's just not going to give no respect. He's just going to try to walk him down, take him out ASAP. You know what I'm saying? But I still got Triple G.
It's a close fight. I think it's a pick-em right now on that one, especially if it goes to Vegas. Okay? Sure. You can probably give a slight edge to GG3. But that's still a super fight. It's a mega fight. Fans want to see it.
Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya wants to. Golden Boy Promotions wants to do it. Canelo Promotions. Everybody in the promotions. It's a big money fight. It's star power. It's not always going to turn out your way.
Wonderful.
I gotta say one thing. I like to say Ring 10 for inviting me and Craig Holtz.
Thank you so much.
They could have been big people. Matt, president of Ring 10.
He's a great gentleman doing great work.
Choosing us, fighters, special fighters. You chose 15, 17 world champions. You chose we're part of that, and we made history, and they invited us to be here.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a shout out to John Iceman out there. He knows who he is, Scully. We want to tell him he's been doing great things for a lot of great fighters for years. I fought with him in 1986. Me, Junior Jones, Angel Manfredy. So we all fought in the amateurs. He's doing great work. He does great work for men. I think Ring 10 does great things for people, and that's what we're here about. We're here about people that give back, and
awesome.
And you want to, for me personally, I want to be all I can be, make as much money I can be, and give back as much as I can give, and that's for me. That's personally what I try.
Awesome. It's very inspired. Let's talk about like how did you got into the boxing?
Oh, me?
Yeah, that's a good, interesting, thing for me and for the fans. Like let's say the new kids that they're coming up and probably they don't know yourself. I mean, I know because I grew up watching your fights, but there are kids that probably I want you guys to tell me your story, how you got into boxing.
My story is very historic because it all starts off with October 30th, 1974. If you know boxing, if you know the history of the sport, that was one of the greatest fighters of all time, Ali versus George Foreman, Rumble in the Jungle. I was born that day.
Wow, we're talking about like
Indiana.
some names right there.
I was born that day in the city of Gary, Indiana, and all I did in Gary, Indiana, 90% of Gary, Indiana, was African American. All I did was fight, and I win. I was a fighter, and that's all I wanted to do was fight. Then I came to a city connected to Gary, Indiana, East Chicago, Indiana. How you doing? That's where I was raised. That's where I started my boxing career in 3rd grade, which a friend of mine, Jesus Fuentes, which is a very name that's known throughout what his history was. If you follow that name, you look up that name, you know what he's done in life, and it wasn't good, but he was a part of my career, and I beat this guy up after getting out of school, beat him up real bad. He was a guy from the projects, African-American guy from projects, a lot bigger, did not matter. I was very small, but very killer, man. That's all I wanted to do was fight. That was my passion, to beat people up, and I took care of him, and come home, I'm walking home, I got blood on my hands, and my dad looked at me and said, "You're fighting again?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Did you win?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come on." Obviously, Jesus Fuentes told my dad about the gym, because Jesus Fuentes was already boxing. He was already boxing and all that, and they put me in the ring the first day against Jesus Fuentes, which was, he's a lot bigger, and he had already conditioned for boxing and all that. And I got in the ring, and I do what I do best, throw a lot of punches and attack him, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got dropped 3 times in the ring. Got up every time, kept on fighting. After the 3rd time, I pointed at people and told people, "I'm going to be world champion." They laughed at me. Teachers, family, friends, they all laughed at me my whole life. At 18, I turned pro. I lost my first pro fight by TKO. I fought a 10-round fighter, but I was partying the day before. I still was dealing with drugs, liquor, just everything my life had to offer during that teenage time, you know what I'm saying? After that, I got 2 more wins. Then I got into my car accident, which happened coming from Whiting, and I was with a woman over there in Whiting, and doing cocaine and drinking Hennessy, and my girl's blowing up my phone, you know, saying, and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go. We can't do this. I gotta go." And I leave. I'm driving down Indianapolis Boulevard out of Whiting, Indiana, going to East Chicago, Indiana, where I was living at the time. And it's raining extremely, extremely hard, beating down. You can barely see the road, but I'm driving. And all I remember was waking up in the hospital. I did not know what happened. I went straight through a telephone pole. The driver's side was smashed to the passenger side. The front end was smashed to my chest. You see the scar on my head?
Wow,
I was in my car accident. I went straight through a telephone pole, and no concussion, no broken bones. They had to wheel me out of the car to get me out of the car. The car was crushed.
Wow.
And the first words that came out of my mouth, I pointed at the doctor and said, "Would it be able to fight again?" You know what he told me? "Never again. You're done. You're finished. You can't fight again. You're done." And hearing that in my mind, I said, "We'll see about that." And they tested me for cocaine. It came out negative. They tested me for alcohol. The whole room smelled like alcohol. My arch, man, just whole, and it was negative. Everything was negative.
Wow.
So. And then 3 months later, I got back into the ring with my scar not even healed. I had almost 200-something stitches in her and outer. Got back in the ring. 3 years later, I was world champion. 2 years after that, I was the best in the world by beating the best fighter in the world. Most exciting fighter in the 90s, Arturo Thunder Gotti, beating him in 8. And shocking the world and getting my multi-million-dollar contract with HBO, which who I love, who I'm a friend of, they like family to me. You know what I'm saying? I was their fighter. I was their man in the '90s, the late '90s, and early 2000s. You know, making things happen on HBO, fighting 11 times on HBO, fighting for 4 world titles, 2 for WBC, 2 for IBF. So, you know, I had so many opportunities for a world title. You know, so they wanted me to win a world title so bad. You know, just a regular fighter can't even get 1 world title fight, let alone on HBO. And I get 4.
Imagine that.
4 against the best fighters. Mayweather, WBC. Stevie Johnson, a little bit bad. Stevie Johnson, which Mayweather wouldn't even fight him. He was the best lightweight at the time. Diego Corrales.
Diego Corrales, wow.
And he was undefeated. He was undefeated at the time.
Bad boy.
And then Paul Spadafore.
All good
I'm
fighters.
talking about
Spadafore only had 1 loss his whole career.
Yeah, 2 WBC, 2 IBF, and 3 of them were the best fighters in the world. You know what I'm saying? Made history. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, 4. I mean, I fought the best. You know what I'm saying? I defended my world title 7 times, twice on HBO, and once on at Madison Square Garden against John Beach Brown, which I haven't seen. I hope to see him one day. Come check me out, John Beach Brown. He was a friend. He always was a friend. You know what I'm saying? He's probably the only fighter who I fought that I was cool with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, I just want to make a mark in my career with my documentary that's going to be coming out.
Oh, that's going to be soon.
With the scissor reel will be ready in a week and a half. The last person to interview is my wife, and
awesome.
She knows my life because she's been with me ever since I was 16. And then the book, which my writer from Manhattan, New York, John Amadeo, which is a very experienced writer. By end of October, we should be ready to sell to publishers. We're already talking to big time publishers that we got connected with, and by the end of May, June, the book will be ready, finished in stores throughout the world.
Wonderful.
And then I'm talking to a guy from California, VIP Promotions, Manuel. Big things are big door. Paramount Pictures Studios might do a movie. I find out, and also a Spanish documentary as well. I mean, there's big doors opening for me, and
wonderful.
because I made a mark in the game. But one thing I'm gonna let people know: everybody wants a true story. The documentary, the book, and the movie. Why? Because they did their research. They know what I've gone through, what they have out there about my life. But it's gonna do one thing, and God has told me what that it's gonna do: change.
It's wonderful.
Change lives. Change lives.
It's also that something that you're gonna be inspiring other people, and you know, you're gonna be example for the young fighters, and you know, people that they love boxing, and also you know, viewers and all of that. So I feel like it's gonna make a big impact in their lives.
It's gonna touch lives. You know what I'm saying? And I touched them before. They saw the devil, then they saw the devil with angel wings, then they saw God Jesus, then they saw Acts 2:38, the gospel. So I mean, it's what God has done. Total mercy, and just I'm a miracle, brother. I'm just
I mean, I could tell that you are a miracle right there from the accident. I mean, something could have happened worse, you know, God forbid. But you know, you here with me, and we thank the Lord.
And it wasn't one car. That was the last car. I've been probably 10 or more.
So
cars
definitely you got to talk about it and you documentary that is gonna come out.
Book and movie.
So guys,
everybody wants to know a true story. So the Lord of Reason what's going to do is going to change lives, and that's all I'm about. That's all I'm crazy about. Making a difference. We have to make a difference. That's why I got a promotional team, managing team, matchmaking team, and we only charge 10% for managing. 10%. I'm not trying to take from the fighter. I want to make the fighter all the money he can. I'm cool with 10%. I'm not greedy. You know, a manager gets 33 in the third. First and foremost, what the work I do, I should get that. But I only charge 10% for my services. Action Enterprises only charge that. That's what we feel the fighter deserves, the money.
Sure.
Because they don't have no union out there, which I want my producer, Nick Mantis, that's doing my scissor reel to sell to HBO. He tells me that you might be the key player, Angel Manfredy, to make a door open for a boxing union for boxers, because we're the only sport basically that don't have
that's
retirement.
Been a struggle. That's been a struggle. And you know, one thing I would try to say to the younger kids out there, and here's what happens. We're Americans. We think we're entitled to this, that, and the other, or we're supposed to get this. And if they would have took so much money and just held it back, say, look, you know, you made this much money, and what we're going to do is when you turn 30, we're going to pay you $100,000 a year. And then that will pay you for the rest of your life.
Sure.
Or we can pay you $200,000 a year. And somebody's got to be smart and pick up some type of system so where they could pay these kids when it's done, when they're done.
Sure.
So when they're 30 and broke and don't know how to do anything else, you know, and it's all over, the cheering stops, and you know, and they're crushed, you know, which happens to a lot of kids after high school or whatever. They have something to go forward,
exactly.
So they have something to do for.
Meaning taking a percentage out of their purse, put that away into a CD or something like that
until they get a certain age.
Yeah, and then they just live off the interest, like a good guy, Mark Brilliant.
That's a good investment.
He got shot by Shelley Finkel, and he did a great job. And let's face it, I think he gets over $100,000 a year right at that. I'm not sure. I can't speak for Mark. He's a great champion, a great world champion, 84 Olympic gold medalist, 2-time welterweight champion of the world. He trains Deontay Wilder. He's a great, smart man, doing great things out there for people, and he's also doing great work himself. We was just in Michigan, and you know, that's obviously Floyd Mayweather's area, and there's Manfredy. I see him up in the stands, getting recognized, signing autographs, and you know, that's what we're about. And I'll tell it to every kid out there today that it's possible.
Sure.
Because of Sugar Ray Leonard in 1986 come to our boxing event and told all of us, me, Scully, Junior Jones, all of us, it's possible. And I'm telling you guys right there, it's possible. If you go to CraigHoukBoxing.com, I'm the underdog. I'm the guy that's not really at the top, that gets a shot at somebody. And my 8 seconds of fame was dropping Hector Camacho, which was you know, the second guy ever.
I mean, we remember that fight.
Hold on. Drop one fight. You fought 4 world champions.
I fought 4 world champions.
Julio Chavez.
I fought Chavez, Hector Camacho twice. MELDRICK Taylor, who was 99-4 as an amateur and a 1984 gold medalist. Everybody goes, well, why couldn't you hit him? I'm like, I don't think anybody could hit him. I don't even know if Buddy McGirt hit him the best. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had struggles hitting him. And then 2-time world champion Joe Gamache. But listen, it's about inspiring people. That I was in 6th grade. And I told Mr. Ellinger right there that I was going to be a professional fighter. I got my little stuff on. And you know, I was getting ready to tell him for career day I was going to be a pro boxer. And when I graduated from high school, my goal was go straight to the pros.
Sure.
And try to learn amateurs, and try to learn how to be a pro boxer. And that was my whole goal. And then my whole goal was to have one pro main event for Fred Burns. And I ended up having 24 main events, and I was in 26 co-main events in my whole career. So, I mean, that's what it was. It was a goal. It's a dream. It's a vision. And a lot of kids don't know how to get there because it's instant gratification.
Sure.
And what it is, it's a grind. I went from 83 to 2004. I had good days. I had bad days. I had days that got made fun of. I got days that I didn't get made fun of. So that's what it's about. And that's what we're trying to tell people is if you don't quit, if you persevere, and if you can go through the struggle, you can be somebody.
Yeah, you can succeed. Tell us, Mr. Craig, about your story, a little bit about your story, how you got into boxing.
My dad took me to the boxing gym when I was a young kid. My first amateur fight was at age 7, and I can remember at age 7 I was getting in the, I was in the dressing room there, and there was some guy named Marvin Johnson who ended up being a 3-time light heavyweight champion of the world. He was a 72 Olympic bronze medalist. He's in there hitting the mitts with Champ Chaney of all things. I swear to God, it's a true story. And it sounds like bombs going off. And the other guy is standing right next to him, and his name's Lamont Lovelady, and he's a national Golden Glove champion from Des Moines, Iowa, and he's hitting the mitts, and it's going, it sounds like bombs going off. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a little 7-year-old kid. All I'm thinking about is destroying my little 7-year-old buddy over there, which I did that day. And, you know, I had to go over and apologize and tell him I'm sorry for whipping him, but that's part of it. You know,
part of
I mean, you will see. So what I did is at an early age, I saw greatness. I mean, I knew, and I heard Champ. And now here's one thing I love about Champ Chaney. He's over there and he's like, you can do it, Champ. You're going to be champion of the world. You can be Champ, Marvin, this, that, and the other. And he had a vision, and that's really what happened. So at age 7, it was my first amateur fight on the Lamont Lovelady and Marvin Johnson boxing card. Was, you know, obviously amateur fights, they put them all in there, you know, and then I had 38 amateur fights. I was 34-4 as an amateur. I fought the 3rd fight of the night and the 26th fight of the night. I think all of us back then, we didn't know that you could have 2 fights, that you might have a concussion, or you might have 3 fights in one weekend, which I did too, and we don't know that we're going to suffer from the concussion, so they have different rules now, or it's once a week or whatever. But, you know, again, I think me and Angel's point is, and we like to put our fists on out there just like that and say it's possible.
Yeah,
it's
everything is possible.
All you kids out there, it's possible, and we're out there doing good, positive work, doing good things for boxing, and it's more than just about us. It's about, you know, the boxing community.
Sure. Let's talk about some fights coming up in New York. That is gonna be Rigo Lomachenko. Who you guys got in this fight?
Oh Lord!
As a winner.
If
how you guys think it's gonna go, that fight?
If you follow boxing, Lomachenko is special.
Yeah, he is special.
Very special. When I say special, I mean speed, power, timing, accuracy, angles, in and out. Now you see him, now you don't. He is
solid chin.
He is so. He's just so. No wonder why 2 gold medal. No wonder why 1 loss out of 300 fights. I mean, amateur. I mean, no wonder why. I mean, this guy is special. He's also fighting a good fighter too as well. But it's going to be a good fight, but I got Lomachenko.
I think it's great. I think it's great for boxing. I think it's great for boxing.
How about you, Craig? Who
but
you got?
I'm just going to think I'm going to go with Lomachenko. I mean, he's just too much. He's going to be too much. And then he started out early. You know, I think his first pro fight, he fought for a title or something. Or something like that.
And won the world title.
And won the world title, his first pro fight. So, I mean, that's unreal. I mean, I would say he was one of the top 3 greatest amateur fighters ever. You got, you know, I got Taylor Stevenson, and of course my man Mark Breland, who was 110-1. Stevenson and Lomachenko. They're my 3 greatest amateur fighters ever, and that's going to be hard.
That's going to be hard. Fireworks. I mean, fireworks right there on that fight.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Lomachenko is special.
He's the man right now.
When I first recognized him, when I first saw him, when I just first put my eyes on him, he won me as a fan. I mean, I really like the way he fights. I really enjoy watching him.
He never could stop talking about him. He's
and we have to see him. I told Craig, when he fights in the States, we have to go see my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go talk to the promoters, and they always take care of us with tickets, and we were there. We're going to support him.
Yeah.
He's
special.
He's gonna make. He's making history.
It's good for boxing too. It's good for boxing. You know what I'm saying?
He gives the fans what they want. You know what I'm saying?
How about the other fight that it will be sooner? It's gonna take place also in Barclays. There's gonna be Aris Landis-Lara against Terrell Gushet. Who you guys got in this fight?
Well, I don't know those 2. To tell you the truth, I can't really quote on them. Maybe Craig can.
I get Terrence.
Wonderful. How about Jermel Charlo versus Erickson Lubinson?
Oh well, Charlo. I got Charlo. He's young. Special.
He got power in his hands too.
He has made a name. He has did more. Yeah, I think I got his name's more recognized than the other guy.
What about this other fight that it will be in the same card? It's gonna be Jarrell Hurt versus Austin Trout.
Oh Lord, those 2 guys I don't know either.
Well, I know Trout's tough. That's a pick-em fight right now. So what you have is you have a lot of good upcoming boxing. And I think what's going to happen is just those fights we talked about, we're going to see men that step up and rise up to be world champions, and men that, you know, just take a little bit down. Might even be growing pains for them, because we don't know if a loss can make you better and give you growing pains, because all we do is feel pain. But I mean, that could happen sometimes too. But it's great boxing. I think it's great for boxing.
I think about the era of boxing now is picking up. It's picking up.
Yeah.
You have Thurman. You have
Danny Garcia.
Oral Spinks, I mean, which I think he's the best welterweight out there right now. I don't think
Welterweight is loaded. I mean,
Yeah.
Every time I go against
Yeah.
Keith Thurman, the guy proves me wrong. So I mean, how can I go against Keith? I mean, he's a great fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, you think, well, he don't have the technique, and then he wins again. And well, he don't have this, and then he wins again. And so that welterweight, I think, would be the greatest division going right now.
Thurman and Oral Spinks.
Yeah, what a fight!
Yeah.
What a fight.
There we go.
But you know what? The fighters these days don't have the drawing, which the ratings. They don't get paid that much. When Garcia and Thurman fought, they're both 3-time world champions, undefeated, and they only got $1 million apiece. That, and it wasn't on big TV. It was CBS.
Yeah.
Anybody can watch it. It's free TV.
Well, still $1 million. I would not.
I don't get it wrong. I made $1 million in '98.
There should be I feel what you're saying.
It's all about ratings.
They-
They're not drawing the fan base. Like
Yeah.
The '90s. The '90s is the best years. The '90s, you have all the world champions in the '90s. That's the best
Well, they had
century
the
right
great,
there.
some great ones. And you can talk about the '70s and '80s too. That with you get the Hagler, you get the Hearns, you get the Duran. I mean, how can you beat that here? Wilford Benitez.
Yeah.
Look at all those great fights.
Yeah.
You know, Tommy Hearns. I mean, how can you not? They were killers. You know.
Same day is gonna be another fight, but it will take place in LA, which is gonna be Leo Santa Cruz against Chris Avalos. Who you got in this fight as a winner?
Once again,
I got Chris.
I only fought fighters that
Look.
that just
That
bring it. You see, I have not.
He likes the guys that attack. You know what I'm saying? To bring the action. I'm a pure boxing fan, even though I was a boxer. I'm more of a boxing fan.
I feel that Chris Avalos and Leo Santa Cruz, they're gonna give us a good fight.
Yeah, they are.
You know what? I have not heard that name. So it's very rare that I don't hear a name. So this is the first time I'm hearing those names. So I'm in the dark about it. I can't really say.
Who you
If you ask me, I go for Leo Santa Cruz.
You go with Cruz?
Yeah, I go for Santa
Why
Cruz.
would you say? Why would you say? Why would you say that? Why?
Because I want to see in this particular case that if he, let's say I'm gonna talk about the other fight that is gonna be undercard, that is gonna be Abner Maris versus Andres Gutierrez. So let's say, if Abner Maris wins against Andres Gutierrez, there could be another second fight that it will be Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner Maris.
What weight class is that?
That's a featherweight class, I think. Yeah,
26.
I think
30.
I think 26. I think between 26 or 30. I think. But yeah.
But again, we're talking
Because
about
they already fought, Santa Cruz and Maris, they already fought, before, and of course, Santa Cruz, got better skills, and don't get me wrong, they had a good fight, but Santa Cruz won against Abner Maris, and
all those people that are counting boxing out. Sorry, we're back.
Well,
we're
I
back
mean,
again.
Nice, man.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
Well, here's what's
we're
gotta
back,
understand.
baby.
Here's
Boxing is always going to be the best. So these MMA people that are following MMA, you saw what your MMA fighter got. He got done. McGregor got done. He couldn't step up to a boxer, a 40-year-old boxer at that, but the best, Mayweather. And Mayweather took care of business like he said he was going to go. He wasn't going to go to distance, and McGregor did not go to all that mouth talk, all that MMA talk. You MMA fighters cannot touch boxers.
Well, I mean,
can't touch a boxer.
You gotta give
just like the boxer can't go to the MMA.
He's not really
Same
going
thing.
there.
We're not a fool to go to MMA because MMA don't pay.
There are some
They
fools
don't
that
pay.
go to there because
They don't pay.
down on their luck.
But boxing is where the money's at, and McGregor was very smart, very intelligent, and he came to boxing because he knew that's where the money was at. He got the biggest money ever.
imagine, man.
MMA.
It's like a lot of people, they telling me if I would have, be with Mayweather, like for at least a couple of rounds and knock me down, I would have made money, right there.
Well, that's true.
What kind of game for that? Like 180 million? Come on.
But you got to remember,
What do you make from MMA? 3 million? That's peanuts compared to 180 million.
I know, but we think
boxing's where it's at. Boxing's where it's at. I try to go to the MMA and boxing. I want to compete. I can't get
No,
him to
I'm
go.
not
I can't get him to go to MMA. Even though he gets free tickets, he won't go. So we don't go to MMA. So I got to go with my brother. He said no. I'm with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
In 1976, okay, we had George Foreman, who's a killer, world, great world champion, and some guy named Ron Lyle, and they about killed each other. Okay, but what you got to understand is, let's go 40 years now, 50 years now, what ahead, 40 years now. That fight on pay-per-view would easily did 3.6 million, 8.5 million, whatever. So they can't give it away for free, and that's what people want to see. MMA, they can give that away for free, and you can get some more fans to do that, which they get a lot of the championship wrestlers, and they get some boxers, and they get some guys that are into jiu-jitsu and some different stuff. That's fine too. Boxing will never die because, first of all, it's an amateur sport, and we have millions of dollars behind amateur sports. Do we have an amateur, do we have anything in Olympics that is MMA? No. Sure. Okay, so where do you build your base? Well, we get wrestlers, well, we get the jiu-jitsus, well, we get and I like all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting any of that. I did not like the tough man contest where I'm going to drink 3 beers and smoke 2 left-handed cigarettes and go out there and show you how tough. I didn't like that, okay, because it was trash. So I like the MMA because them guys are working to be something and they aren't making much money. And the money for them to make is against the boxing. See, and McGregor made more money than he'll ever make in his whole life fighting Mayweather.
Imagine.
So I got to give him credit. But here again, McGregor went through the pain and struggle. 5.5 years ago, the guy's on welfare, eating out of soup. Like me, I slept on the floor with cockroaches for years, so I appreciate this room in a million years.
I will appreciate that too.
I appreciate things, but I think you have to go through the struggle to get there, and I think McGregor did. And what happens is we have a lot of privileged kids, and I'm not taking anything away from them. The parents do have money that do things for them to never make them go through that, so they don't appreciate what they got to where they get where they are right now. Yeah. So I think boxing's going good, MMA's going good. I think it was good for both parties. I don't know. What'd you think?
More for boxing.
Yeah, more for boxing.
More for boxing, I think.
I'm gonna let you know.
I think the money is in boxing, and I think it's the biggest.
I'm not biased, but
I mean, if we put boxing and MMA, I think boxing is more heavier than MMA. Don't get me wrong, we respect
it's more seasoned. It's more seasoned. It's been out so much longer.
Well, okay. If I told people who Muhammad Ali was, everybody would know. Okay. And that's just the truth. But if I told them one of the MMA fighters,
they might gonna ask, be like, "Who's that guy?" They're probably gonna be wondering.
Wrestler Brock Lesnar. I mean, nobody's gonna remember Brock Lesnar. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Brock Lesnar because he's pitting all 3 of us at the same time, throws up against the wall. I'm not taking nothing against him. I'm just saying nobody's gonna remember Brock Lesnar. Everybody remembers Muhammad Ali.
Ooh.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And that's the truth.
For generations, I mean,
how can you...
How long has boxing been out? I really don't know the date.
History.
It's started with bare knuckles.
John L. Sullivan. John L. Sullivan.
I mean, boxing's been out so long.
Marvin Hart. You think about all
some great fighters.
Jack Johnson, first black heavyweight champion, great fight. Willie Pep was a great...
the first one to go 1 round without throwing a punch and win the round.
But I keep going. How about Sandy Sadler? Because a lot of people thought Sandy beat him twice.
Gary Indiana, Tony Zell, still man.
Yeah.
Still man.
Imagine.
We love you, Zell family.
Yeah. So boxing's been good, but I got to give a shout out to Marvin Johnson. He is the only 3-time light heavyweight champion in the world.
Sure.
And my boy Layman Brewster. Layman Brewster is the only champion ever from Indianapolis, Indiana, to win the heavyweight championship when he beat Vladimir Klitschko brother. So, I mean, I gotta give a shout out to Layman too. So those guys are great. 4 champs does a great job.
Let's talk about our
talk about right now. You mentioning heavyweight champions. There's an upcoming fight sooner. It's gonna be Ortiz versus Wilder. Who you got in this fight? How you guys think that fight is gonna go?
He doesn't like Wilder, but I do.
Well, you know what? It's not that I don't like Wilder.
He's just wild.
I do not. It's that I do like him, but his technique is not too good.
He gets over aggressive. He's young, and he stays
he's
undisciplined.
wild. But you know, this Cuban man, he can hit, boy. So,
Great fight. There we go with the heavyweights. Bring the heavyweights back.
It's gotta be.
Deontay Wilder could do that. Joshua could do that. You know,
Yeah, Joshua.
them
I
guys
think
can
is
bring
the
the
best.
heavyweight. They can bring the heavyweight back up.
Joshua's the man. You know what I'm saying? But Tony got the world title too. I was at Tony.
Yeah, I give James Toney all kinds of credit. That guy can.
You know,
I mean, he's a 14-time world champion. He was a middleweight, super middleweight,
Yeah.
junior middleweight,
now he's heavyweight
cruiserweight.
again.
You know, so
He's
you got to
heavyweight
give James
champion
credit.
again. Regardless of what title it is a world title, and
Yeah.
he has a name. So
Yeah, you could put him in there with those guys and give him a rumble, see what happens.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There's something that we just saw a couple days ago that Andrew Ward just retired. What are your thoughts about it?
You know, Ward.
I mean,
we just talked about that yesterday.
Ward. You know, very. You know, he went on. He didn't lose no amateur fights. No pro fights. I guess he never lost a fight before in his life. What's the word?
I don't know about the amateurs, but I do know. I can speak to the pros.
But you know, him going out, I think he had a couple more fights in him, but you know, he's financially okay. So why do it anymore?
Well, here's the other thing. I was trying to tell. I think we got to. There has to be. The fighter has to stand out, right?
Sure.
And I tried to tell this to Angel, regardless of what he wants to say between Jesus, God, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he came out there with the devil's mask, and he's going to stand out. And everybody talked about it, okay? So he comes out with the devil's mask, and that's going to stand out more than anything. He was a great fighter, but did he really stand out? You know what I'm saying? As far as an attraction to the fans. Anybody that was a skilled boxer obviously knew Ward was at that high level. But, I mean, will he be remembered as the all-time greatest? Because was he promoted like a Julio Cesar Chavez or like a Mike Tyson? Will he ever be remembered like that? You know, and I don't think he will, but that's a shame, but that's boxing. So I think it's the way you market yourself. The ring was Vampire Johnson years ago used to come out in a coffin, and they would carry him out, and Fred Burns and all them guys, and it was a gimmick.
Yeah.
But it has to stand out, and when it stands out, it draws attention, and it's good and positive for boxing. I mean, especially when they can fight. He was a really good fighter. I think he beat Donnie Lalonde one time, who was a light heavyweight champion, and I loved Donnie Lalonde. I was nicknamed after Donnie Lalonde, the Golden Boy, through Champ Chaney, that loved Donnie. And Donnie might have been the only crazy guy who want to show up in Minneapolis and spar the toughest guys in the world, and that's why he became a world champion and fought Sugar Ray Leonard and dropped him.
Sure.
His dream came true. We just support boxing, and that's what we're here to do.
All day long. Craig, thanks for my pretty tour.
And Ring 10.
Nice, wonderful.
We're here for Ring 10, though. It's all about Ring 10 right now. Matt, from Ring 10, thank you. And thank you for bringing my brother Craig with me.
Yeah, I might get room service. I might get room service and pay for it.
Yeah, right? That was a good one. I like that.
CPS.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Christian Placido, CPS Boxing News over here with the champs, Angel Manfredy and Craig Hall. You want to give us a shout out over here or somebody that you would like to?
Well, my shout out goes out to my Lord Savior Jesus Christ, who is my God.
Amen.
And
How about
for
you?
anybody out there looking in the camera, I'm going to tell you today, it's possible. And through Jesus and our good Lord, it is possible. Amen.
Amen. Thanks,
Amen.
gentlemen.